Right then guys, how's it going and welcome back to another fantasy football video. Game week 5 is over. It was a pretty crazy week. There was a lot of players who did well. If you watched my last video, you know that I did use my wild card. I did have a pretty good week. It was one of those weeks where I feel like a lot of players did quite well. So no matter who you had in your team, even if they did well, there's still probably other players you thought, oh, well, I could have done having them. So, yeah, I think some big scores this week, probably some low scores this week if you didn't have some of those key players. But before we take a look at my team and we get on to what I'm going to do for game week 6, let's take a look at our league. So as always, if you haven't joined the league, you will be a few game weeks behind now, but the code is on screen above for you there, so be sure to jump in if you haven't already. As you can see here, top page, I am currently 107th in the league. I got a lovely green arrow this week after 89 points. As I say, I did use my wild card, so I did have the chance to put a lot of these players in, and thankfully a lot of them did pretty well. I got a bit lucky with a couple of them as well, which I will talk about shortly. But as always, if you were on this top page, big up to you. You're in the top 50. You're doing better than me. Let's have a quick look here. 99 points for Crimptos. That is a good week. Keep going, another 89 points for the dream team. Let's keep scrolling up and see who we have in the top spot. It is Jaden S. He was top spot last week. He's kept his top spot. 69 points. Not the best week, but is still number one. 3 points ahead of second place Team Alo, who got 100 points. Third place Super Stickers, 102 points. Let's actually take a quick look at both of these teams. 102 points. Werner captain. I mean, I mentioned some of the players who just did well. I mean, you have back. I don't know. You're a Chelsea fan. Okay, there you go. No, mate. Werner captain is brave because he hasn't done that great, so you've backed him and it's paid off. So big up to you. Some of the key players, Sterling, Fernandez. Let's go back. Second place, Team Alo, 100 points. Harry Kane captain, but Werner in there as well. Saiss Zaha, that's a bit of an outside bet of a player. So again, 2 great weeks for them too. But we will take a look at Jaden S, as I say, top of our league. 69 points. I mean, 69 points is still a decent week. The average was 60, so it's over the average. I mean, 60 as an average, I would say is actually quite high, considering last week it was like 40. So that's what I mean. It's some big scoring weeks for some people this week. Schmeichel in net, defensively it's tough. Like, where are the clean sheets until Monday night when Burnley, West Brom and Wolves all got a clean sheet? Where were the clean sheets over the weekend? Son, Harry Kane captain. That's the thing. Generally not too great. Rodriguez with his assist, Ings with a goal. But when you've got them two and Harry Kane's your captain, then you're going to be doing okay. So yes, big up to you, Jaden. Still top of the league 2 weeks in a row. What will happen after game week 6? Let's take a look at my team. So as I say, I did play my wild card. Happy with obviously some of the picks I made. I did go for the Kane and Son double up and went Harry Kane captain. So straight off the bat, that is 45 points just from those 2 players. I watched that game. I cheered when Kane scored because I needed a good week. And after Saturday, it looked okay. But obviously them 2 playing well really helped. Sterling got himself a goal, got himself a bonus, so I was happy about that. Salah got himself a goal, so Calvert-Lewin got himself a goal, so not like huge scores, but the bits and pieces will do. And then, as I said, I also got lucky this weekend because I put Kilman in. The Wolves £4 million defender not only got a clean sheet, he also got a bonus of 3 and an assist. So this is what I mean by I got lucky. I can see a lot of people have been transferring this guy in, and I can see why. Wolves defender, 4 million. But from what I've seen from Wolves supporters, is that he is not... I mean, I don't think he's there to last. I think he was looking after someone who was in an injury. He's filled a spot. I would not be surprised if he didn't feature this coming weekend. If... You never know. They kept a clean sheet and they won the game. So maybe Nuno will say, you know what, we'll give him another try. But is he a long-term choice? Definitely not. I think I've probably got the best out of him that I'll get for the rest of the season with that one game. As you can see, I did have Target on the bench who got 6 points. I mean, it would have been nice if he was in instead of Mitchell or Ayling, but I didn't know it at the time. So yeah, things I'm happy about. I took out Doherty. He didn't even play for Spurs. I took out Mitrovic. He missed a penalty. I put in Kane, I put in Son, I put in Salah. So these things I'm happy about, things that I could have done better. Put Target on the pitch. I did initially have Martinez in goal, but switched it to Ryan. Martinez kept a clean sheet and got bonus points, so obviously missed out there. I did have Mings in my team at one point when I was wildcard, and I could have had more points there. I went Grealish over James. Obviously James is a very popular shout, but was just a little bit more expensive. He only got 1 extra point this week, so it wasn't too bad, but he's still a player that I would have liked to have got in with the wild card. So Wilson, 6.5 million at Newcastle. I had a bit of faith, and he had been scoring, so I didn't want to take him out. Was there a better option at his price this week? Possibly not. But yeah, I'm not moaning. I got the 89 points. It's never... you can never get it perfect. And this is what I mean. I took out Jimenez. He was in my team. I took him out with the wild card. He scored for Wolves. Now, Harry Kane scored and so did Calvert-Lewin. So it was a Calvert-Lewin like-for-like swap, but to a cheaper player. So that's not too bad. But yeah. Let me know what you think of how I did this week. Let me know, did you wildcard this week? Or are you going to wildcard for this weekend? And I'll let you know what I'm doing with my team. And this will be a quick segment of the video because I'm not really going to do too much with my team. Because I wildcarded, obviously I was looking a lot at the players who played at the weekend, but I was also looking at what was going to happen the following weekend. So in terms of fixtures, I did put Ryan in net from Brighton. Crystal Palace, I think they had 1 shot and it was the penalty that Zaha scored. So, you know, frustrating, but hopefully he can keep a clean sheet against West Brom. Target from Aston Villa, he's only 4.5 million. He is basically my budget Mings or Martinez. He's probably not going to get the bonus points, but if Aston Villa get a clean sheet, so is he. I have got Kilman in there from Wolves against Newcastle. I think if he plays, Wolves are well within a shout of a clean sheet. Will he play? We don't know. But this was one thing I also did with my wild card, which was actually have some players on the bench who might feature, because previously my bench was just full of players who don't play. So now I know that Ayling will come on for Leeds if Kilman doesn't. And I think Mitchell's time is also coming to an end. I watched the Brighton Crystal Palace game. He didn't handle Lamptey awfully well, and I do think Van Aanholt will walk straight back into the side, so at some point I will be swapping him out. And yeah, Sterling, Salah, Son, Grealish, all good fixtures. Calvert-Lewin, Kane, good fixtures. Wilson, not so much, but we'll keep the faith a little bit longer. And for captain, I'm probably going to go with Mo Salah against Sheffield United, but I could probably pick from one of 3 or 4 players there. If Kane and Son are doing it again against Burnley, who haven't been great this season, maybe that's the choice. And one thing I will mention that I've just thought of while doing this is you might have spotted I don't have a Liverpool defender. I don't have Robertson. I don't have Alexander-Arnold. And I spent so long on Saturday morning trying to get Alexander-Arnold into my team. I then spent far too long trying to get Robertson into my team. And I actually ended up with Grealish, and 1.3 million in the bank left over. So I could have actually used that 1.3 million to put Martinez in goal instead of Ryan, or I could have upgraded one of my defenders to someone different. So at the time, that was one of my worries. I'm just going to hold the money now, and to be honest, we don't know, because it's Robertson and Alexander-Arnold. It's not as much about defensive as it is, can they put a cross in for someone to score, and can they do this and can they do that. However, and I mentioned it in my last video, one thing that was putting me off was the fact that Alisson was injured. And now, from the weekend, we've found out that Van Dijk is also injured for possibly 6 to 8 months. So as much as Alexander-Arnold and Robertson may get those attacking returns, I do think clean sheets are looking less likely. I mean, they can still definitely get them, and they could still rake in the points this weekend against Sheffield United at home. Arnold and Robertson could be playing like wingers for all I know, and from what looked like a good pick at the weekend, could look like a horrible pick this weekend. But we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, let me know what you're doing with your team for this weekend. Have you already wildcarded? Are you going to wildcard now? I think it's tough, because if you've got someone like Jimenez in, he scored. You know, if you've got James from Everton, he scored. If you've got Ings in, if you've got Che Adams in, they scored. Like, there was a lot of players who did well, and it just depended on what concoction you had as to how many points you actually got. As it happened, mine worked out pretty well. I picked the right player for a captain. Just because you don't have Kane, Son, Salah doesn't mean that you can't have a great game week next week with players like James, Jimenez, and some of these other guys. So it's a tough one at the minute, but I'm glad I had a good week, and hopefully it'll continue this weekend as well. Drop a like if you've enjoyed. As always, I do look at the video after I've posted it, and I do always answer any questions you guys put down in the comments. We had a handful last week, we had even more the week before, so if you do want to ask my opinion, I am no expert at all, but I always do try and give a thought to any changes you guys are making, or if you want to let me know. I've said I'm not going to use a transfer, but if there's one you think I should use, then be sure to let me know in the comments as well. Alright guys, thanks for watching. As always, drop a like, subscribe if you are enjoying these fantasy football videos, and I'll be back tomorrow for my prediction videos, because the Premier League this weekend actually starts on Friday night. So remember, any changes need to be done before 6:30 on Friday. So I'll be doing my predictions video tomorrow to give you guys that little bit of extra time before the games start on Friday night. Alright, thank you for watching. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you later.